tells us that she lived what she wrote. She lived what she believed. And what she believed was that there were possibilities for people to live together in peace and in love. I mean, that's the thing that I always tell my students about African American writers, that ultimately, no matter how traumatic the experience that they're representing, underneath it all is love, the possibility for love and healing through love. And there's so many different ways in which that's expressed in the film.
And she obviously loved having you do the film. That was clear too.
Yes.
And your film filled in a whole, much more than a chapter. I mean, 6 different chapters or whatever in Audre Lorde's life. I never knew about her work in Germany, and I loved hearing about that.
I loved hearing about how I loved seeing her activism internationally, sort of, representing the fact that she went to Germany and felt such a connection with those women, and became really a mentor to them. I've always seen her as just a figure, I mean, as a poet and as a teacher, but a mentor, a person who was almost, I don't know,
a revolutionary.
A revolutionary and an activist, but more than that, she seemed in the film to be almost a maternal figure. You sort of see the way women are gravitating toward her, particularly the young Afro-German women, and I think that was very powerful for me.
When I go abroad, I just become invisible. I pull in. I'm just trying to absorb things. It never occurred to me to go to act in that way. I just don't have it in me. Here, I'll say anything. I'll do anything. It's my turf. But I become very, I don't want to say conservative, but because that gives the wrong impression, but very quiet when I'm traveling. I just want to fit. I don't want to offend anybody, whatever. Oh boy, she didn't mind. She just was so honest what she said.
It was the living expression of her work.
Yeah.
Women, white women, black women together. And separate, the differences being respected, but also being the power of them being together and listening to one another, and respecting those differences. That you just saw it.
And then beginning to act and beginning to write. I loved that. Oh, that was wonderful.
She was so funny.
Yeah.
And I learned that. I didn't know that. I was saying how intense when my students are introduced to her poetry and her writing, they're very intimidated. They feel that she's the very strong,
severe.
I felt that way at first.
Yes, and that she's sometimes off-putting, but also just intimidating. And I was saying I read the poem "Cold" this morning to my students, and they were so quiet. And I was asking them to explore the metaphors and the seriousness. I've always thought about Audre Lorde as being a very serious character. Poetry is not a luxury. And this is a very different and complementary side of her. I think on one of the advertisements for this, it says unseen footage. And I thought, what does that mean? What kind of unseen footage are we going to see of Audre? When you people were challenging you about making a white woman making this film, I was worried. I thought, ooh, what kind of unseen footage are we going to see? It's going to be upsetting to me. But it was so tastefully done, so well done, so much, like you said, the collaboration, that word you used, that she really collaborated with presenting an image of herself as ultimately she was about what does it mean to be human. That's feminism is about. I always have to correct students. What is feminism about? Making the world a better world for women. No, feminism is about making the world a better world.
Right.
For everyone. And including women, including children, including when she talked about you can't be a woman activist as a white woman, you have to be concerned about racism. As a man, you have to be concerned about sexism. And she's really sensitive in a way that I hadn't thought about before about white women and identity and race and responsibility, but not in a preachy way. That's what you said as a preacher. I think a lot of people see her as dictating. And there's a side of her, a nuance to that aspect of her discourse and her poetry. I mean, it's an essential teaching tool. This is an essential, work to have in the canon of Audre Lorde studies, feminist studies, gay and lesbian studies, gender studies. I mean, we can go on and on and on. This film really fills it. That you said that earlier. It fills in